What is going on, my petro-powered dudes? Today's episode is going to be a special one because, as you can see, I still have my 2020 Street Triple RS. I want to compare my 2020 Street Triple RS to the brand new 2024 Street Triple RS. This is a comparison to see what the differences are, and does it really make sense to spend the big bucks and get the newest and best. So with that being said, let's gear up and head out. Yeah, that triple bark, gotta love it. My Street Triple is still for sale, although it's not listed for sale. I do have it on OfferUp, so if any subscriber that's watching this video is interested still, send me a DM on Instagram or shoot me an email and we can talk. But regardless, this 2020 Street Triple RS has not changed from 2020 all the way up to 2023. For 3 years, this has had the same geometry, the same brakes, the same dash, everything. The only thing that has changed are some graphics, which I'm not a big fan of, and the rear chassis has had a little bit of a change in terms of color. They went, that was sketchy. They went with a red chassis like the R model instead of the gray that my RS had, which I thought was really weird because that red on the chassis was always reserved for the R model, and anytime you saw that, you knew that it was the lesser expensive detuned Street Triple. And besides that, the tank itself added some graphics here and there, which again, I wasn't a big fan of. In my opinion, I think the best Street Triple is the 2020 model because you have the gray color that I have right now. It has the shiny tank, not the matte one that the newer ones had, and then they also added on not cosmetically pleasing graphics, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I think my model is probably the best one because the graphics that you see here, the red on top of the gray, that's actually been clear coated over, and I don't think that the newer models have it clear coated over. And I think during the sickness that we had from 2019 and above, they had to cut corners here and there, and I think they got a little bit cheap in terms of paint, and that's why you see the matte with the graphics and all that other stuff, just to give it a little bit of a difference. But quite frankly, the sales of Street Triples have been down for a long time, and I think this is why we have the 2024s now. As far as the 2024 model is concerned, there have been a lot of different changes, but nothing groundbreaking. All they've done is pretty much made the motorcycle more modern. The most groundbreaking thing, in my opinion, is the addition of the Stylema brakes, which, as you may or may not know, most of the super bikes have these days. My RSV4 has the Stylema brakes. That is, the Stylema brakes are the best brakes you can currently buy from Brembo. And to put that on a Street Triple, I think it's freaking amazing. It just tells you about the character of the Street Triple and how it's meant to be a performance motorcycle. Besides that, the other major change is that they've included a brand new TFT screen. The current TFT screen is absolute garbage, FYI, and I think the new one's way better. I haven't really seen it in person, but from pictures, judging by that, I think it's a much better screen. And then finally, you get some new color schemes and a little bit of body change here and there, a brand new tank, new geometry changes that are more track focused, and for comfort, I think. I don't know too much about the comfort part, but I definitely know that it's more tailored for the track. The bug eyes that you see in the front of my Street Triple, they return for 2024, so regardless, you may or may not like them, but they're back. To me, it looks very modern, and I like it a lot. I've never had a complaint about it, but other people have. So, if you don't like the current Street Triple, you're not going to like the new one. Anyway, last but not least, you get a couple of more horsepower. So now, as far as the old Street Triple RS, why should you buy it instead of the new one? Well, the most important reason is that you're going to save about $6,000, maybe even more, because out the door, the new 2024 model is going to cost you about $15,500, if my figures are correct. And then you got the 2020 model, like mine, which has no difference between 2020 and 2023. If you buy it used and in good condition with all the right mods, anywhere between 9 and 10,000 out the door. So that is one reason why you should buy older models, because obviously you're going to save a lot of money. But is it really going to make any difference for you if you buy the brand new model? Yes and no. Yes, if you like to have the latest and the greatest. I know there are a lot of people who just want the latest and the greatest. That's why our people are constantly getting new iPhones. Every single year a new iPhone is released, and you're probably trading in your old one for a new one. I get it. Is your old iPhone any worse than the new one? Probably not, but you just like to have the latest and the greatest. I get it. You like to have new things. Well, if you do, the 2024 model, 5 or 6 grand over, is probably the best bet for you. Regardless of which model you choose, the Street Triple RS is a great bike because the current Street Triple has M50 calipers. I've taken this to the track so many times, and although it wasn't a competition or anything like that, but this has been on the track with the likes of Ducati, Aprilia RC4s, Ducati V4Ss, etc. And braking power is absolutely tremendous with the M50 calipers. So with the brand new bike, you get Stylemas, which is even a better package than my current model. But quite honestly, I think 95% of the people who buy these bikes will never use them to their full potential. So in that sense, it really doesn't matter which one you buy. And then there's the debate of power. You're going to get about 8 horsepower more than the current model. Because, you know, the way it works is if a brand new model comes out and it's got the same power, nobody's going to buy it, right? So naturally, they have to give it a little bit more power. And a little bit, it really is. You may or may not notice it at all. The caveat being that the new Street Triple RS does come with an IMU system. You may or may not be a fan of that either, because that means more electronics, more intervention, etc. This bike, on the other hand, the 2020 to 2023 model, does not have an IMU. An IMU standing for Inertial Measurement Unit, which is a 6-axis unit that pretty much takes care of cornering ABS, cornering traction control, anti-wheelie, etc., etc. It's technology that was first developed for the racetrack, and now they've put it on mainstream motorcycles for the road. Me personally, guys, I gotta be honest with you, I'm a very sensible person these days. When I first learned how to ride a motorcycle, I think in 1 or 2 years I went through 9 motorcycles. I spent a lot of money, I had a lot of fun, and I was doing motorcycle reviews from dealerships and anybody who basically lent me a motorcycle. I think I rode a total of 60 or 70 motorcycles in my first 2 years. And I got a taste of what it's really like out there in terms of variety. And quite honestly, guys, as a result of that, I've just become very content in what I currently have. I had my 2020 Yamaha R6, and then I got rid of that, and I bought my Aprilia RC4. I freaking love that bike. It hasn't given me any new issues, so I started falling in love with that bike once again. It's just so raw, so addictive to ride. And then you got my Street Triple RS. That's also a very nice bike. I just can't see myself getting rid of this bike, spending 5 or 6 grand just to get the latest and the greatest. It's really not that big of an upgrade if you ask me. Maybe in 1 or 2 years, especially with the older model, like let's just say if I get this in 2025 and it's a 2024 model, there will be specials, or there might be a used one for about 11, 12 grand. And at that time, if I can sell my bike still for about 9 grand, I'll buy that for the $3,000 price difference. But at the current moment, for 6 grand, I'm definitely not going to spend the 6 grand just to get the latest and the greatest, because quite frankly, I'm sensible these days and I don't think it's worth it. And you know what? My pockets aren't really that deep. I'm not a rich guy, so that's that. But I understand, you know, some guys are at the point I was a couple of years ago. They're brand new into riding. It's still super exciting and fresh to them. And the new Street Triple RS, it's a gorgeous bike. The color schemes are absolutely beautiful. You got that yellow, the orange, and then you got the classic silver that I'm riding right now. It's a fantastic bike, and yeah, you know what? It is better than the model I'm riding right now. But as I mentioned before, is it $6,000 better? That's the big question right there. And you know what? To you, if you're just starting out and you don't have a Street Triple, and you got big pockets, and to you 5 or 6 grand doesn't matter, then you know what? By all means, get the latest and the greatest. But if you're sensible and your pockets aren't that deep, then I highly recommend that you check out models between the 2020 and 2023 years, because you're going to get a big discount, and quite frankly, when you're sitting on top of it like I am right now, aside from looking at the dash, you're really not going to be able to tell a major difference. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh yeah! Woohoo! God damn it, this bike, it's freaking badass. And if you guys are new to the channel, check out my RSV4 videos, because that bike at the current moment with the tune has about 240 horsepower at the crank, obviously. On the wheel, probably somewhere around 190, high 190s. But regardless, the reason why I'm telling you about this is because I'm used to big liter bike power. And for me to get on something that has a paltry 115 may not seem much to you, but it still packs a punch, even for someone like myself who's used to big power now. The 765 engine is really potent, guys. It really packs a punch. Serious download torque. Oh man, what can I say? We live in good times, my friends. We live in an age of excess, guys. Normal people can go into a dealership and buy 250 horsepower motorcycles, provided that they have the money. And you can enjoy the latest and the greatest technology that motorcycle manufacturers have ever produced for the road by buying a $15,000 bike out the door with the latest and the greatest technologies, outperforming anything that was built 10-15 years ago. It's truly an amazing time. So regardless of what you buy out there, man, you're not going to be disappointed with what you have. And that's why I'm keeping my 2020, because you know what? To me, it's still fast, it's still fun, and it does the job. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad to be back, and I hope it's helpful to you guys, and I was just really honest about it. Now, I do plan to create another video about the new ZX4RR from Kawasaki in comparison to the brand new ZX6R from Kawasaki, because I think they did it right with the ZX4RR, but they took one step back with the ZX6R, and I have no idea why they did this, and I think it was a stupid move, and it's primarily the reason why I won't be buying it. So anyway, that's the next episode that's coming after this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!